Hey everybody, it's Jeff from VW Bricks here doing my 5th video in my Brownstone series. After this there'll be one more left. This building doesn't have as many build photos, but it was based off of an inspiration shot of a very particular building, and I'd say it's fairly accurate to the original source material. Maybe I'll do a quick flip between the two so you can see them to see how they look. But this one is, when I first looked at it, it wasn't my favorite. And as I'm looking at this inspiration shot, which you can't see at the moment compared to the actual, I'm realizing how close I got, or how, I won't say how close I got, I mean how fairly similar these buildings are. And it's making me appreciate the build that I'd done much more. Now, this build was done back in June 29th of 2017. So again, within the month, this must have been my Brownstone June build process. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but anyway, let's jump into a photo of the original source material, which is right here. So it's white with probably a more darker brown versus our reddish brown, which is kind of like the building beside it here. But white building, brown bottom, railing, again, typical brownstone. It's a raised building. There's a lower level. Probably someone lives in this lower level, separate from the upper. Sorry. I do think I'm going to call this my sleepy series, my Brownstone sleepy series, because I'm not working on a lot of hours of sleep due to my work stuff, which is now all done. I just have to wait for people to sign off and say everything's good. But I'm really tired because I only got about 4 hours of sleep in between. Anyway, here is, so this is the building, the inspiration shot that I used, and here's the actual Lego version of this. Now I will jump between this picture and the actual live camera in a minute so you can see as well. But this is the mostly finished version of the building. I did switch out, well, I put a number on it. I think that's really all the difference that I've done looking at the picture to the original building. No, I also switched the windows out. These were 6 high windows, and I put in these 4 wide, or these 3x4s instead of the 4x6. I think I was probably out of windows when I was originally building this. So, and I also added some other parts as well. I just, like there's an arch in here. Like I filled this arch in with the arch piece. So this was me waiting for an order to come in when I'd done this building. So this is the only shot I have from this other than the shot of them all together. So we're just going to jump right into the live build cam here, which you can see. And as I'm doing that, I'm just going to go back to the original picture, and we'll just kind of do a little drop. We'll go back to the right, and here. So I have arches above the window. They're covered over. The lower arches are open, glass type based. Again, no glass in this building because I ran out. There's some detail, like the wood, the detail above the brown area here has been captured. And I wasn't able to capture this detail. Sorry, I just realized there's detail I didn't point. I was just pointing with the wrong screen. This detail I've captured in the picture, or in the model, which we'll see. I've got the different levels of bricks where they're sticking out a bit. This I wasn't able to capture this, but I have kind of duplicated it with having the outer pieces here and here. And as I was saying, there's the wood decoration, or the, well, it's funny that other ones are not so clear. So this is one of the Viking tiles from years ago. So I kind of put that under the windows to kind of give it that bit of that, or to capture a bit of that flair, shall we say. Let's see if I can angle this a bit so you can kind of see that there's different layers in the tiles even. It's kind of a step like right under my thumb there. And obviously the roof comes off like I just demonstrated. So there's the arches. Now the roof won't go back on there. The arches I'd added in here as well. These arches are closed off. Even the details up top here, where there's the cheese slopes and then the flatter piece. Again, if I go back to the original source, up at the top here we have all those little guys. So those are like my cheese slopes. I wasn't able to recreate this area here, although I think I had tried at one point and I just couldn't find something that worked. And I'm also thinking, now that the piece exists, this piece here in my model, I've just got a regular tile here, but now I could use one of those ingots because they come in white, so I could replace the ingots at least on there. The only thing I wasn't able to do was really get a piece of glass in here because just glass doesn't exist for that kind of an opening. There is... No, I was going to say there is a new... No, that might work. There is the new glass piece. There is a new window piece that kind of might fit in there that came in one of the stadiums, the first soccer stadium. But I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if that would work. Something to try later. So as I said, the roof comes off. This roof just basically sits on some tiles. Sorry, I just realized I'm raising it too high. So it just sits on some tiles. So this roof pretty much stays in place. It might slide back and forth, although this plate here is probably preventing it from doing that. I've got the detail on both sides, so it's basically doesn't matter which way the roof goes on, that detail exists on both sides. For the second floor, you can see in the background there, you can see all the holes for the headlight bricks, which is what I'm using to offset these tiles. It's like a half stud offset. It's just so it doesn't stick out so much, but it still gives a bit of an offset, plus the windows are inset. Even this detail under here, going back to this image, it kind of matches this kind of a detail here. So I tried to match it as close as possible. So I think I did a good job. And lastly, since we've been looking at the railings of the building, this one is really flimsy, as you can see. It just fell off. So this, I'm just using the telescope pieces, a couple of black 1x1 clips, and I've got a dark brown railing on top. It just kind of rests on there. Dark brown wasn't as readily available at this point when I was building this model. I might be able to make it into a tile now with some clips or something, but I have to see what's available. It's been a while. Like I said, it's been 4 years since I built this. I'll give a quick shot of the back. It's pretty much the same, as you can see. Oh yeah, so we have these two Viking tiles and one not Viking tile in the middle. And on the front, those two Viking tiles. Just one doesn't catch the light as well as the other. Now you can see it a little better. So that wraps up this video, I think. Sorry, I was trying to finish the video before I sneezed and I couldn't help it. My apologies. Oh, and the other thing I'll just like to say is that is off stud. I'm using these guardrail or these gutter pieces as well, just to lock in the second level. Just give me that bit of a detail here, just to make it a little fancier. And it also holds the building together. So building won't, it's very stable. One thing I was noticing as I was doing these is I never actually put in the pinholes to do for modular buildings. All these ones don't have those pinholes because it's a street of 6 buildings kind of side by side by side. It's just easier to slide these in and out if they're not pinned together. And like I said, they're not really going anywhere because they're kind of locked into a block. And I gave this one a number. I haven't given them all the number, but this one is 55. So I should probably number all the other ones as well. So anyway, that's it for this video. One more to go, which is kind of the more interesting one for me, just because it's technically or from a visual point of view, it's still a brownstone, but it's a modern one, and I kind of like that idea. So and we can kind of, using Google Maps, we're going to have a look at the history of the building as well. So all right, we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.